প্রিয় দর্শক, বিরতির পর আবার ফিরে আসলাম আমরা কিচেন স্টারে। আমাদের সঙ্গে আজকে সানি ভাই আছেন। আপনারা আগে দেখেছেন সানি ভাই আমাদেরকে রান্না করে খাওয়াবেন। কি খাওয়াবেন সেটা আমরা ওনার মুখ থেকেই শুনবো। সানি ভাই কি খাওয়াইতে আমরা
আজকে? Today I'm going to do the basic steak and mash.
আমি তো খালি দেখি মাংস রাখা।
There's a reason for this. আমি মাংস এনে রাখছি। আমি চাইরা মানুষকে educate করতাম on the different cuts of meat that are available. So I'm going to just do the very basic dishes because if you get the basic dishes right, then you can go on from them. So I know it seems it'll see very basic, but it should be very, very tasty.
না আমরা ওয়েট করি।
Okay.
কতক্ষণ লাগবে এই প্রিপারেশন?
The preparation will take about 10 minutes, and once we've got the mash out of the way, first going to do the mash, and then we'll take that on. So let me, I don't want to chop you up. So
no,
again,
no.
If we, no, it's all right. Again, so when we're doing the mash, if we do tend to cut it evenly, so it will cook very, very quickly. I've cooked some from before, and then all I'm going to do is put some boiling water in. Now, some people say you should do the mash from cold, but no, I'm not from that school.
So difference
they say the mash tends to be a bit gloopy. Okay. But as long as they're okay, I'm going to put that on the heat. Let that come up. Just wait for the water to boil. Add that, and then let it simmer, just so it covers. There you go. That'll do.
Okay.
Fantastic.
Salt.
And as you can see, this is sea salt.
Sea salt.
Yeah. Much better. It's the quality is far, far better than the sodium that you get. Okay. So we're going to leave that to boil. Okay, so if I can introduce the meat. So this is a sirloin. Okay, this is, again, the sirloin and the fillet are what are traditionally, well, it's not what's traditionally, it's what's found on a T-bone steak. Okay. And then we've got the rump here. Okay, this tends to be the cheapest cut.
I see.
Okay. And then we have the ribeye, which is at the top of the rib.
Sure.
And again, the sirloin, which I've got another one of here.
Popular kunta manche?
They're all popular cuts. Rump is a cheaper cut. This is the king of all the cuts, yes. Where price is no object, people always go for the fillet. Where if you're looking for flavour, most chefs would go for either a rib or a sirloin. Okay. So simply because of the fat content that's in there, and in the steak trade, where there's fat, there's flavour. Okay, so we've drained the potatoes now. I'm just still letting them dry off. Let me move them over here for a second.
Okay.
I'll get rid of this. Okay. And now simply I'm going to smash the potatoes. Now some people may use a ricer. I like it the good old-fashioned way. I actually don't like my potatoes completely smooth. I like there to be a bit of texture to it. Again, we're being told completely, we're always being told it's got to be this way, it's got to be that way, it's got to be very smooth. Not at all. Sometimes a bit of lump in there, a bit of texture in there is very, very good. Right. Okay, so there are certain things that we add. Okay, I'm going to just get a little bit of butter. Is basically by touch and by feel. So again, you don't have to use butter. You can use margarine. You can use as little or as much as you want. I'm all about flavour. Sure. What I'll do is I'll smash that in first as well. And now you can get that aroma. I'm sure you can smell that now.
Yes, I can.
Okay, I'll just add a little bit of milk. Can you smell that way, Sab?
Yes, I can.
Any good? Again, I'm doing this freehand, simply because, there are certain things you can't measure. This is all by taste. So you've seen again, it's just there. It's just sat there. There's enough there just to get it on with.
আর কোনটা নিশানি রাখতে নাই?
No, it's just a little bit of salt.
Salt, yeah.
Tell you what, I'll get you a fork and let you taste that bit.
Is it hot?
It's not too hot. It's actually it's okay.
Let's finish it.
Okay.
Yep.
So now this is ready. We're just going to let this sit now.
So that's done.
That's done. Now we're going to let this sit and retain the heat. Okay, and we'll take this and put this over there on the side. Because it's got the residual heat in there, it will still stay warm for quite a bit of time. Okay, so I move this over here. Now you don't need to use extra virgin olive oil. I think that's another con as well. Yeah, there are slight differences, but not when you look at the difference in cost. Oil is oil. I know a lot of people will disagree with me, but it's like, and all we're doing is we're just giving it a little bit just to cover it. Okay, well that's heating up. I'm then going to prepare our steaks. There's a few of us, isn't there? So I'll take a slightly larger piece. Okay. And again, all you need is a drop. And again, as we were talking before, you must touch your meat. When you're cooking your meat, you must. It's like having a physical connection between you and your food. Again, pepper. Simple. This is ground black, cracked black pepper, and salt. And again, same. And again, it's very, very basic food that we're doing. Very, very basic, but again, it's where the flavour is. Now you'll hear that chefs will normally say, don't ever cook a steak straight from the fridge. And the reason why they say that is because the inside of the steak is normally cold. So what they'll normally say is bring the food out a minimum of half an hour to an hour beforehand and let it stand. So that now is seasoned and is ready to go. Okay. That's what you're waiting for. Now, depending on how you like a steak, is how long you leave the steak on the pan. And a big mistake most people tend to do is they start fiddling about with the steak. You leave it where it is. Literally, you don't touch it now until you're ready to turn it over. Now, if you're wanting you see some people that are wanting a blue steak, once it hits 30 seconds, they would flip it over, and that's their steak done. A blue steak, I should say. A rare steak, you're looking at a minute each side.
Minute each side.
A minute each side, that's why they call it a minute steak, yeah. And then you can go to, I mean, for a well done steak, you're not going any more than 5 minutes aside. So for this one, we're going to go for about 3.5 minutes each side. The steak, you can do whatever you want to do with it. You can just need to play with it a little bit. So we're looking at 3 minutes sort of that side. So I'm just going to simply peel it away. Look at that. You can see the caramelization. And very, very simple. This is, again, I've chosen these on purpose. Once you get these basics right, then you could go on to using herbs, garlic, other spices. But this is literally how you would do it. And it's very quick and very easy. And then when you add the mash to the meal, it becomes a very fulfilling meal.
আপনারা রেস্টুরেন্টে নরমালি কি গ্রিলের উপরে করেন না?
No, in actual fact, myself, in my restaurants, I let the customer do the cooking. What we do is we preheat a rock to just short of 400 degrees and then present that to the table with the steak on it. So what we'll do is we'll sear it one side for 30 seconds, flip it over and then send it out. So in the last 4 years I've been doing this particular style of cooking. So instead of cooking it for him, we put a steak like this on a tray and sent it out raw to the customer, and he flashed it, he was ready to go. I don't think it was on the stove for more than 15-20 seconds either side. So if I just quickly flip it over, you can see it's being how the salt and the peppers caramelized. I'm actually now going to take this off. Just leave it there. Off the cooker, I should say. It's still cooking, yes. So you know what? To stop it cooking any further, I will simply put it onto here. And then that will stop the cooking process.
That's almost ready to.
That's ready to go.
প্রিয় দর্শক, ডিশ তৈরি হয়ে গেল, জানা যাক ডিশটার নাম। ভাই কইবানি ডিশটার নাম?
Very simply, by steak and mash.
স্টেক এন্ড ম্যাশ। আচ্ছা, আপনি সালাদ ইউজ করছেন কিতা কিতা?
It's just some mixed leaves, some vine tomatoes, cherry tomatoes, some cucumber, just to give you some roughage.
আর ম্যাশ পটেটো?
The mashed potato, I topped it off with a bit of parsley.
আচ্ছা, চমৎকার।
Okay, so as you can see, just for the, just turn this around so you can see the.
Steak's done.
Okay, the steak's ready to go now. The mash is ready. I would invite you, Baisab, to.
Yes, I will.
There you go.
Thank you.
Tuck in.
Yes, you ready?
Okay, I'm going to slice you a bit first. Yeah, sure. Okay. There you go. Look how easy that cuts.
Yeah, sure.
There you go. So I'll let you have that piece.
Yeah, I will try, definitely try.
And try with some of the mash, and I hope you enjoy.
I will. প্রিয় দর্শক, আপনারা স্ক্রিনে এখন দেখতে পাবেন এই ডিশ তৈরির জন্য কি কি উপকরণ ব্যবহার করা হয়েছে। আমরা দর্শকলে কইবানি যে দুই একটা টিপস দিবানি দর্শকরে?
Baisab, I'm not very basic. Your food is only as good as the ingredients you use. Sure. So always go for the best ingredients. And if you get it wrong, keep trying. Food is an art. You know, exactly. My next take will be slightly different to this. It's never going to be exactly the same. It's not a conveyor belt. Keep trying. You'll perfect it. Keep to it. And inshallah, the food will be fantastic.
Okay, thank you very much.
You're most welcome.
Yes. Thank you, bhai.
Thank you. So enjoy.
I will. প্রিয় দর্শক, আমরা আজকের মতো এখানে বিদায় নিচ্ছি। আপনারা ভালো থাকবেন, সুস্থ থাকবেন, সুন্দর থাকবেন। খোদা হাফেজ।